Now, it is time for us to welcome the first speaker, Shiori Uno from Kochi University of Technology will deliver the speech under the title of Where Are They in the Circuit? Where are they in the circuit? Shiori Uno, please come up to the center of the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, the contest chair, honorable judges, organizers, and all of you in the audience for giving me this opportunity to speak here today. Uno-chan, you should clean this room right now because girls are better at cleaning. Girls are better at cleaning. This is what my professor told me in my lab last year. I study electrical engineering at my university and research about semiconductors. In my class, there are about 50 students, but only 6 of them are women. That's so low. It's surprisingly low, don't you think? When I realized this fact, I was really shocked because before graduating high school, I was originally a humanities student and most of my friends were girls. But when I switched to electrical engineering in university, I thought, wait, where are girls? 1, 2, 3. And then my professor told me girls are better at cleaning. So I was like, seriously? Wow, I can't believe people still say that. And then most surprisingly, this professor was a woman. Even women still say something so deeply gender biased so naturally. That was really shocking. But I knew that there are not so many female students in electrical engineering, but at that moment, I truly felt it. It is not just a statistic. It is a real problem. To understand this issue better, let's break it down into 3 simple questions. 1. What exactly is the problem with having so few female students in electrical engineering? 2. Why do so few women choose this field? And 3. What can we do about it? Now let's begin with the question 1. What exactly is the problem? There are many answers to this. Firstly, the gender biases still exist and it makes things harder for women. In fact, Japan has the fewest percentages of women in STEM fields among developed countries. It is also believed that without diversity, it's hard to foster innovation. For me, the biggest problem is I don't have any study buddies. At university library, the male students of my major studies in big groups, and the female students from other majors do the same. But me, I study electrical circuits alone. It's so lonely. Can you imagine that? As a female electrical engineering student, the hardest part is not having study partners. No one to help, no one to talk to, no one to compete with. This is the real problem for me. Question 2. Why do so few women choose electrical engineering? Earlier, I mentioned that there are few female students in Japanese STEM fields. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but even within STEM, some fields attract fewer female students than others. At my university, there are more female students in architecture, biology, and chemistry, but in engineering, there are very few. My high school classmates were the same. Most of the girls in science courses went into medicine or natural sciences, not engineering. Why does this happen? Some say it's because the engineering is associated with machines or physical labors, which leaves an image of unsuitable for women. I also didn't choose science or engineering in high school. Why not? Because it never crossed my mind as an option. And I think I know why. When I was a child, my older brother used to receive a Christmas gift like plastic models or remote controlled car, typical mechanical toys. I actually wanted those too, especially the plastic models, but I thought girls are not supposed to ask for such things, right? So I never said anything. Since I never asked, my parents assumed that I wasn't interested. And that's why I was never exposed to mechanical or technical things. My brother and I were both pretty smart, but when he was in elementary school, his dream was to be a game programmer, an engineering job. Meanwhile, my childhood dream was to be a teacher. It's not an engineering job. Same brain, different dreams because of our environments. Our environments shapes our choices. Finally, question 3. What can we do about it? The answer is simple. Make more supportive environment for every child and be ready to create such environment because we, university students, will be making the future for the next generation. Whether it's your future children, students, or younger friend, we must create such environment where they can feel free to pursue any interest. The low number of the women in engineering is not just natural choice. It is the result of the environment which shapes our choices. Now, I will share the first step for the action. How was your environment? Please think about it and talk about it with someone around you tonight. That conversation is the beginning. As the generation that shapes the future, we are responsible to be that change. I hope in the future, one day, more and more female students will be studying electrical circuits together late at night in university libraries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shiori Uno. Then we will have a question and answer session. Dr. Sasayama, please begin.
All right. Thank you very much, Shiori, for your thought-provoking speech. It's always hard to be the first speaker, and I think this is all right. So you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
All right. So I have a few questions. In your speech, you mentioned that our environment shapes our choices. And maybe perhaps it was a little bit different for you because you chose to major in electronic engineering, yeah? So what motivated you to make that decision? Can you tell us?
So your question is, why did I choose to enter the electrical engineering?
Right, yes.
Okay. Honestly, that is just, random decision. I have 2 gap years between high school and university. And at that time, I thought maybe instead of continue to learn literature or history, getting some skills in engineering might help my future career, like more high salary job, getting more high salary job. So that is the result. I choose this course. But I'm glad to made that decision because thanks to the decision, I'm standing here. And that is my reason, just simple.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. We'll move on to the second question. So in your speech, you talked about why it's a problem to have, so few female students in electronic engineering. And you said there's a lot of different reasons, but for you personally, the issue is you don't have study buddies.
Yes.
And I have to ask this difficult question. Why do you need girls? Why do you need female students to study with? Can you not study with male students?
Thank you for asking that. A little bit difficult question. And actually, I have the male study friends, but maybe the university students can understand, but the male friend and the female friends is a little bit different for feeling. And I told that there are 6 girls in my class, but not everyone is so smart. They're like, sorry, but some of them will just get the previous year's test and just memorize everything and go to test. It's not smart. Then I don't want to study with them. So if the number of the girls is so few, the ratio of the smart students is, if the ratio is same as the male students, but the number is also few. So that's why I need more female students.
Okay. All right. Do you do you see some sort of an irony there? I feel like what you're telling us is a little bit gender biased. So there's maybe something that we should all think about. But okay, we'll move on to the next question. So is there anything you do personally to address the issue that you discussed in your speech? So for example, your professor made a remark, girls are better at cleaning, so they should do that. Do you do anything proactively to sort of, tackle that kind of issue in your real life?
Thank you. And to be honest, when the professor told me such things, I couldn't say anything because I am the only girl in the laboratory also. And my senior students later told me that was too mean, but maybe I'm getting used to such thing in these 4 years in the university. So that's why I decided this theme in this speech.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think my time is up, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sasayama. Then, Mr. Confer, please.
Thank you so much for that speech. Very interesting to listen to. So my first question is going to be about innovation. So in your 3 steps, the first step you talked about was what is the problem? What is the nature of the problem? And you had one line in which you said that it does not facilitate or that it, in fact, hinders innovation. Can you talk to me more about that? Why do you believe that the gender imbalance and the lack of gender representation is a hindrance to innovation?
Okay, thank you for asking. And to answer that question directly, what is the innovation related to gender biases is a little bit difficult. So, for example, maybe think about the politics is good example. Recently in the news, the Japan won't introduce that system is keeping the different last name for married couple because some member of the Congress is say it's not good. And maybe, the more than half of the public opinion supported this system, but in the Congress, it's rejected. Maybe that is because the balance in the member of the Congress is not well balanced, and it is not and in the same way, in the engineering, if the engineering community is not balanced and it's not represent the real society, the innovation won't happen because they don't understand the real society's need, what they need. So that is why I believe the gender biases is related to the innovation.
Okay, I understand that when you're talking about social issues, but let me ask you very specifically to the field of engineering. In what ways are diverse perspectives, gender perspectives in particular in your case, why is that particularly important in engineering?
I'm sorry, can you repeat? Why is the...
Why are diverse gender perspectives important in the engineering field? How are they important for innovation specifically in your field of study?
Okay. That's a little bit difficult, especially in like electrical engineering field. But for example, if there is only male students in the laboratory, we use a lot of equipment for the experiment, and to setting the equipment, there are a slight difference between women and men to use the equipment. So if they change equipment, the difference between the setting maybe do some new find in the research. So if there is only men, maybe the changing will not happen so much time than there is the women and men. So that is why I thought it is related to innovation.
Okay, thank you. And I don't want to push my time, but I think we're very close to the end of it. Thank you so much for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Confer. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Sasayama, Mr. Confer, and Shiori Uno. Please give the judges a few minutes to mark their judging sheets.